Okay guys, so I'm going to show you how to do a worktop joint, okay? So the situation we've got here is we've got a short piece of worktop just because of the fact that they're a bit of a waste and use a long length. However, we've got to go in one of our little kitchens and this particular worktop joint is a right-handed corner, okay? So, as previously mentioned, we're going to be using one of these combi jigs, okay? Relatively simple to use, especially with the other jigs that are available, okay? So this one here would be sort of perfect for training on, okay? A couple of features with the jig here. We've got our two bolt jigs there for our bolt positions that will router into the underside of the joint. That's for later on in the work, okay? And then we've got some pegs that are dotted around, and you'll see why as the demonstration goes on, okay? We've also got this depth stop on the back there, which slides up and down, okay? That will slide up and down, as you'll see in a second, depending on what thickness, what width of worktop you've got, okay? And what's particularly good about this one is, say for example, we had to scribe the back of the work surface in and reduce it in size to like an odd size to like 590mm. Most bolt positions on most jigs where the pegs are wouldn't cater for that, so we wouldn't be able to use that. Whereas this one, we can just slide it to suit. Okay. So that is the very first thing we're going to do, is note the width of the worktop. So what I'm going to do is take the pegs out and put them in these two positions down here. Okay? Just like that, okay? And then what I'm going to do is put that on one edge of the work surface on the width, okay? Nice and tight. And then what you'll see, if you come around it, as this depth stop is pushed up, it will slide straight up to the post-formed edge, okay? We'll just adjust this, and then literally you slide it in. Make sure it is touching the other side. And there we go, that's given our length of the cut, because the width, obviously, of the next male joint is going to be coming in this side as well. Okay, that gives you your width. Alright? At that point, now we've got that, I want to make sure that's nice and tight. Take the pegs back out. The only reason over there is so we can get our width, really. Okay? They come back out. So we've got our sort of position into the length. Now we need to know how far into it, okay? Fairly simply, the pegs go back in on these two positions down here. Okay? And it will slide on those pegs. And what I always do, rather than sort of plonking it down, slide it in very gently to the depth stop. You don't want to be slamming it in, just in case it sort of moves that depth stop there, okay? So just slide it down, and that's in position then, okay? So the next thing we need to do is make sure that's clamped down. Make sure the clamps go out of the way of the router plate at the bottom, because you don't want them in the way. So you want to pay close attention to your clamps, make sure they're nice and straight, because you don't want the jig to move as you're doing it, okay? So I'm on my depth stop, I'm on my pegs, and it's clamped down in place, okay? I've also secured the worktop down to, in this instance, the bench, but it could be a set of trestles that you use them on site, okay? Right. So depending on which way round you're doing the worktop joint, will depend on whether you're cutting laminate side up or laminate side down, okay? So that might seem a bit weird, but in a minute, the male cut is going to be laminate side down, right? And the reason for that is something called the direction of travel on which way the blade spins on the router, okay? Fairly easy, and there's an indication of which way it spins on the bottom of the router plate. I mean, you could start it up and watch it, but I've got an arrow on the bottom here that shows I'm cutting that way in. So that means the blade is going to cut inwards, okay? Which is great for me because it will cut into the laminate, as opposed to cutting the other way and then flicking out the post-formed edge laminate. Okay, that would be obviously no good. It would split the works. It would just be a rubbish finish, wouldn't it? So we're cutting inwards, and you'll see in a second on the male version, we'll cut it the other way around, because again the direction of travel will be the opposite way. Okay? Okay, so very simply, we've got a guide bush on the bottom of the router here. Okay? Okay, that is the edge that keeps against this edge here. Okay, on the jig. I'm going to stay to the near side of this track, if you like. So the first run, we only want to be taking like a mil, just take the laminate off just to see what we're working with, okay? So I'm setting the depth, it's hardly anything really. Okay, got a brand new blade also in the router as well. It's going to hopefully give us a nice clean edge. Okay, so it's given us our first cut. Now at this stage, if it was me working on site, what I'd probably do is get a jigsaw and run the jigsaw inside the track, okay, away from our decent edge and cut the waste off, okay, so the router cutter is working only once because it's only got one edge. However, I think that's a little bit risky for you guys to maybe do because these jigs cost a bit of money, so I don't want to risk the jigsaw blade cutting into it. So we'll just leave it as it is, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take it down in stages and then give it a final go afterwards, alright? Okay. Right, so that went pretty well, right? So what I've done is I've created the female joint on here now. Okay, so I've literally cut in, so now we need to do the bolt positions on it. I'll show you how to do that quickly, all right? Okay, so we're going to want 3 bolt positions in this. Now, unfortunately, this jig only provides 2. Okay, so what just means that we've got to sort of move it across a little bit. So the first one I'm going to do 100mm down from the start of the joint. 100mm in. And I'm going to split the difference. Have a look at it in a minute. We'll write it down on the work surface so we get it right on the male one as well. Okay? Right, depth of your worktop bolt will dictate the depth that you need to go down on this. Okay, so that's your worktop bolt, and our depth is dictated by your plate there, plus a little bit more because you don't want to poke it through and encroaching on like the unit below. You give it a little measurement, or you can offer it up to the work surface and put a little mark, depth stop. And then we can set the depth stop on the rotor to save us doing that every time. Okay, so that's now set to a depth that will allow the plate on the work on the bolt. Okay, right. And literally repeat the process. set this to the depth, so it's middle, it's central, okay, and the thickness. Okay, so now what we've got is a male position coming onto it, okay? So I know that this stud ball is square, okay? Which is obviously a good thing, but you might not know that this future is square. So what you're going to have to do is double check the work surface, lay it on top and draw a line underneath. However, because it is square, we can do it the most simple way possible today, alright? Okay, alright, let's go and do the male. Okay guys, right, so with the male, again because of the direction of travel and the cutter, I want to make sure I'm cutting into the laminate, so that's why this male is upside down. Okay, so whack your earplugs in. Just before I start cutting, just quickly, the positioning of the jiglet for the male. What we've got is a peg position on the edge here, and that gives us our sort of location that way. And because I know the corner that we're fitting is square, I've actually put 2 pegs in the bottom just to get that square edge. You don't have to do this, you can measure and just clamp it anyway, alright? Right, so this is the last run now, so it's pretty much just the laminate we're cutting off. And we've set the blade past it again, just so we're using a decent part of the cutter. So what you've seen right now is you've seen how we route out the bolts. You've seen the female cut with the laminate side up. You've seen the male cut with the laminate side down. Okay, so there's no need for me to show you the bolt positions again. However, I'm going to take it over there to show how it lines up. Okay. So for the purposes of offering it together, we're going to take the biscuits out. Obviously you would have biscuited in on the other side. Okay, with a nice level unit, that'll obviously go in lovely. Now what's really, really important at this stage is how we connect it up, okay? So with our worktop bolts in our 3 positions, you want to get them in sort of loosely, you want to get them offered in, get them relatively tight. At the same time, you want to get it nice and flush on each position you're doing it, okay? We've got the biscuits to guide us with that, okay? They'll give you a certain level of guidance, however, they won't be like millimetre right, so you might have to do a bit of tapping around to get it so the laminate is bang on. You're going to be concentrating on one side at a time with the bolts relatively tight. Once you're happy, for example, with the front bolt and the laminate is absolutely bang on flush,
okay, you want to do your final tighten. And then the same, and then the same. Now, one thing you might want to do, or what you'll need to do, is seal this, okay, prior to putting it together. So what I would be recommending on this dark work surface is a line of wood glue down the bottom there, okay, standard wood glue, like Gorilla Glue, okay, and along the top edge you can buy some colour fill, okay, some dark colour fill to go with the work surface. And what you do is use that sparingly across the top edge, so when it goes together, it'll ooze out and then you can just clean it off afterwards. Okay? So, female cut, okay? On this right hand side, laminate side up, okay? Bolt positions, okay? Thickness of the bolt. You've got your biscuits to do as well, right? So 2 positions in there will be alright for that 600 width, okay? Repeating that process again on your male, but obviously the male side down and a different position on the jig, okay? And then when you come to bring it together, a line of PVA, or a line of wood glue, sorry, and then a line of colour fill. But because you guys are going to be taking this back apart, no need to do that. You want to just try and achieve the best joint possible. And really, you've got to remember one thing with a worktop joint, that's going to be there for the life of the kitchen probably. Okay, so if it was me in my house and it was raised slightly on the front edge, it would really annoy me. Every time I come to make a cup of tea and I run the hand across it or the cup catches it or whatever, it would annoy me. Okay, so we've got to pay close attention to that. Alright then guys, thanks very much, thanks for watching.